Here we are going to take up equation of a line. This is the third part where we are going to talk about the how to form the equation of a line, and we are going to talk about the x and the y intercept. So let's see. Now here I have already told you that what is an equation of a line like. When we did inclination of a line, we told this is theta. Okay, so this is the line. Okay. Now there are different ways of getting the equation of a line. Now there are few ways. One way is the slope intercept form. Slope intercept form. Okay, this is one method, one way of writing the equation of a line. This is the one I was talking about you all this time. Next one is the second part is point slope form. The point slope form. Okay, this is nothing much but then what you have learnt, how you have learned to make the slope, right? So you did y minus y1, x minus x1 is equal to m. Then y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. That is the next one. The third one is the 2 points form. Okay, remember all of them with the help of. So here this is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 is equal to m. So it becomes y2 minus y1 is m into x2 minus x1. Now if you want, you can copy all these three because I have written the names over here. But I shall be completing the entire exercise with only the help of this. If you understand the basic concept, then these hardly matter. Now this is the reason why I think this chapter becomes so difficult for everybody. Why it becomes so difficult? Because the person is always busy thinking, shall I use this or shall I use this? Yes, or shall I use that? Person is always trying to decide that. Let us remove all doubts. We will only use this and do every sum over. Okay, so let's start. First, what are the different names? I have already talked about slope. So n is equal to tan theta. That is the theta is this angle. Yes, with the positive direction of the x-axis. Okay. Then we have there is something. What is the c? C is the y intercept. C is the y intercept. Okay. Now what is the y intercept? This part, this length is the y intercept. This length is the x intercept. Means the length that the line is cutting on the y axis with the origin and the point of the line is the y intercept. The distance it is cutting with the origin and the x and on the x axis with the line is the x intercept. So here to here becomes the x intercept, here to here becomes the y intercept. Okay, so if this point is, let's say, a 0, 9, then y intercept, that is the value of c, becomes 9. If this point is a 4, 0, then x intercept, we don't have a letter to write it, x intercept is 4. Okay, then x intercept is 4. So now we are going to form equation of lines. Now as I said, I am only going to use this formula. Okay, I am only going to use this formula and we can finish your entire coordinate geometry or entire equation of lines chapter only with the use of this. So listen carefully till the end of the video. So when we write the equation of a line, it should look like this. Y is equal to 3x plus 7. Just writing a random equation of a line. Okay. Now with the x there has to be a constant. Okay. And then there has to be only constant with which there is no x, no y. Okay. So this is the format of writing equation of a line. Now you should not be having values here. You should only have variables in this place and in this place. there should be no values. You can put values here and try to get something else, but at the end when you write equation of the line, then you should not have any numbers here, only x and y. Okay, so you have to have only x and y. Now if I give you y is equal to 3x plus 7 and then I tell you, does this point, whatever does the point 3 comma 2 lie on this line, then you are going to put the 2 over here and the 3 over here and check whether it satisfies or not. Okay, but otherwise when you present the equation of the line, it should be written in this format. Okay, now this is the mistake people do. They submit the equation of the line with no proper y and no proper x. Now I am taking up questions from exercise 14C. Find the equation of the line whose y-intercept is 2. Find the equation of the line whose y-intercept is 2 and slope is 3 and slope is 3. Okay, so they have given us what? Y-intercept they have given, and they have given the slope. The moment you read the question, please write it down. This is question 1. M is equal to 3 and C is equal to 2. Now we are going to substitute. Y is equal to mx plus c. So m 3x plus 2. Y is equal to 3x plus 2 is my equation of the line. Find the equation of a line whose y-intercept is -1 and inclination is 45. Okay, what do they mean by this? Y-intercept is -1 means y-intercept is -1 means C is equal to -1. Okay, and inclination, that is inclination means theta. Okay, so tan theta which is equal to m which is equal to tan 45 is equal to 1. So I have m and I have c now. So y is equal to mx plus c. M is 1. So y is equal to x plus x minus 1. Okay, so y is equal to x minus 1 is my answer. So find the equation of a line whose slope is -4/3. Okay, this is, find the equation of a line whose slope is -4/3 and which passes through -3, 4. Okay, so the slope m is -4/3 and passes through this point. Okay, so let me start with the formula. Y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, so here y is, if this line is passing through this, then I can put the 4 here because this point is going to satisfy the equation of the line. So in place of y I am putting the 4. M is -4/3, x is -3 plus c. Okay, so c is 4 minus, this is 4 minus 4 because minus into minus is a plus here. So c is a 0. Therefore, my equation becomes y is equal to m value is -4/3 plus x, y is equal to mx plus c is 0. Okay, so this is equal to 3y is equal to -4x, isn't it? So my equation is 3y plus 4x is equal to 0. Now let's come to the fourth question. Find the equation of a line which passes through this point and makes the angle 60 degree with the, so theta is equal to 60, tan 60 is equal to √3, and then I am going to take here the line passes through 5, 4. So y is equal to mx plus c. Here y is in place of y, because this point, if it passes through, it will satisfy this equation. 4 here, m is root 3. Here I will put 5 plus c. C is equal to 4 minus 5 root 3. Therefore, y is equal to mx plus c. So now my final equation of the line is y is equal to, so see, when I am writing the final equation, I am substituting here. Okay, note one thing, I am substituting here what? I am substituting here the value of y, and I am substituting here the value of, I am also substituting here the value of x, just to get the c. Okay, so I am substituting y here, x here, just to get c. But once I get the c, then I am coming back to the equation where I am not writing y and x at all. So y is equal to m, I will have to write, x will be x only, no value, plus c, which is 4 minus 5 root 3. This is my equation. So my final equation is y is equal to root 3x plus 4 minus 5 root 3. What I want you all to see is the final equation, these two places, yes, this and this will never be any value. It is going to be only y and x. Same thing happened here if you note here. Okay. So that is the equation of the line. Now in this question, find the equation of the line passing through this and this. So we can actually find the slope like this. M is equal to 2 minus 1. I will show you both the ways. 2 minus 1, and this is 1 minus 0. So how much it is? 1. Okay, 1 by 1, that is a 1. Slope is a 1. Now we are going to substitute it here. So y minus y1 is m x minus x1. Remember this equation I had told? Okay, this was the third one. So y, this y which does not have a 1 will be kept as it is. That is the y of the final equation. y1, pick up any one of them. If I pick up this point, you can pick up this point or you can pick up this point, your choice. So I can pick up, I'll pick up this y minus y1, that is I put this y value, m. Now m value I know, x, this x, don't substitute a value, leave it as only x, minus x1. x1 is this, which is, x1 is a 1. Okay, so now y minus 2 is x minus 1. My final equation is y minus x is 2 minus 1, which is 1. Y minus x is equal to 1, or y is equal to x plus 1 is my final equation. Okay, now if I want to do it by the y-intercept type, if I want to do it by the y-intercept type, then y is equal to mx plus c is my equation. Okay, now here I'll pick up any one of the point which passes through the line and I'll substitute it here. 2 and m is 1, 2 and m is 1, 2 and m is 1 and x is 1 here, 1 plus c. So c is equal to 1. So y is equal to, y is equal to 1 into x plus 1, which is y is equal to x plus 1. Now note, whether you are using this formula or you are using that formula, you are going to get your answer same. Okay. Okay. So this is our next question. This is the 14th question of exercise 14C, Selina. Find the equation of the perpendicular dropped from minus 1 to onto the line joining these 2 points. The first thing, you have to get your diagram correct. So this is the line joining 1, 4, 2, 3. Now this is the perpendicular. Okay, if this is the perpendicular which is coming from the point minus 1, 2. Okay. It is coming from the point minus 1, 2. Now what does that mean? That means that this perpendicular line also passes through this point. That is, you have to understand. Now find the equation of the perpendicular, means we have to find the equation of this line. Okay, this line, which is, we can name it as AB. Now first thing is, what is the slope of the line, let's say CD. Okay, this line we are naming as CD. slope of CD. Now slope of CD is 4 minus 3 and 1 minus 2, which is 1 by minus 1, which is minus 1. Okay, so slope of CD is minus 1. If slope of CD is minus 1, slope of AB is equal to 1, because product of two perpendicular lines has to be equal to minus 1. Now we have to find, now we know value of M now. Slope of AB we know, means we know M. We know one point, so we know X and Y. We know M. Now we have to know C. So Y is equal to MX plus C. Let me substitute 2 here, this 2. Okay, M is 1 and into minus 1 plus C. C is equal to, this is minus 1, so C is equal to 3. So we got C as 3. Now back to the equation. Y is equal to M. M is 1. Okay, so if M is 1, X plus 3. That is my equation of the perpendicular to the line joining these 2 points. So as I have already told you, that I shall be doing all the sums. They never mentioned which equation, right? So I shall be doing all the sums with just one equation, which is equal to Y is equal to Mx plus C. Only by the Y-intercept form it is possible to do all the sums. Okay, so let's see. Now let us understand this sum first. Find the equations of the lines. Read the question properly. This is equations of the lines. Okay, so here it is plural. Passing through this point, both the lines are passing through this, and they are equally inclined to the coordinate axis. Axis is the plural of axis. Okay, that means to both the axes. Drawing is very, very important. Now here I have one point which is passing through minus 2, 0. Now minus 2, 0 has to be in this part of the line. That is, if this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, minus 2 will be here. And minus 2, 0 means it is a point on the x-axis. Okay, it's a point on the x-axis. Now this is minus 2, 0. Now here in the negative side of x-axis. Now here this line, these lines, not this line, these 2 lines are equally inclined to the axis. This is my diagram. You need to understand this, and equally inclined to the coordinate axis. Now here this is equally inclined means what? Means to the x, whatever angle it is making, same angle it is making with y. So these 2 angles are equal. Again, these 2 angles are also equal. Now if I start calculating, if this is a 90 and this is a 90, then these 2 have to be equally inclined this at equal angles. So this is 45, here also 45, right? Similarly here also 45 and here also 45. All are 45s. Okay, now do you see how much is the angle between these 2 lines? It is a 90 degree. Okay, so let me first mark this point as P, then this point as Q, and this point as R. Now let me first get the equation of the line PQ. Now equation of the line PQ, slope of PQ is tan 45. See, with positive direction of x-axis it's making at 45. So tan 45, which is a 1 straight. Okay, now y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c. What I don't know is c. Okay, now I can think in 2 ways. There can be 2 ways of thinking. One is, even without calculation I can find the value of c. Why, you know? Because if these 2 are equal, that means here OQ is equal to OP. Means it's an isosceles triangle. If it is an isosceles triangle, then this has to be 2, 0. Why? Because this length has to be equal. Okay, so we got the value of C also. So now, so we need not find C at all. C is ready now. So C is 2. I can see y-intercept is a 2. So here y, m is 1. So x plus 2. That is my equation of, that is the equation of PQ. Okay, equation of PQ. Equation of PQ is y is equal to x plus 2. Let me see the other one, which is this one. Equation slope of PR. Slope of PR. As I said, everything is interconnected with those basic concepts that I have told in the video, in the last video. Now here PR, what is the slope? If the slope of this line is a 1, then the slope of this line has to be a -1 because these two are perpendicular to one another over here. So slope of PR is how much? Slope of PR is -1 clearly. Now here this part is also, for similar reasons, this part is also -2 and this part is also 0, -2. Why? Because this length OP has to be equal to OR because it forms a right angle triangle. So 0, -2. So now I know my y-intercept also, which is a -2. So straight I'll put it here. So here y is equal to mx -2, which is y plus x plus 2 is equal to 0. So that is my next equation. This is equation of PR. Equation of PR is y plus x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so that is so these are the equations of the two lines. This is my next question. ABC is given. They are the vertices of a triangle. Let me understand the question first. Find the coordinates of the centroid. Okay, first thing, what is a centroid? When you have a triangle, median is from this vertex to the midpoint of this. I repeat, everybody takes it as the perpendicular and the midpoint. It is not the perpendicular bisector. It is only the bisector of the other side. Similarly, we can get another median from this side also. So any triangle, whether isosceles, scalene, right angle, whatever, equilateral, it will always have three medians, and the point at which they meet is referred to as G, and that is G is the centroid of the triangle. Okay, the point of concurrency of the medians is called the centroid. Now here if I have A is 1, 4 and B is 3, 2 and C is 7, 5. Okay, so A, B and C are the three vertices. Now the first part says find the coordinate of the point G, and the second one says find the equation of the line through the centroid, that is a line which will pass through the centroid, and it will also be parallel to AB, maybe something like this. Yeah, you can imagine something like this, dotted line like this. Okay, so line has to be parallel to this as well as pass through G. Now the first thing first, let me get the value of the coordinates of the centroid. Now here one thing, there has to be a concept that I need to remind you all, that is, if this is the point G, this is the centroid, then the ratio of AG to, let me take it this as D, okay, midpoint is D, then this ratio AG is to GD is always 2:1. This part, the vertex part is 2 and the side part is 1 always. Okay, so that is what is going to help us in our sum here. Now find the coordinates of the centroid. If you think it is the you are going to find the coordinates of the centroid, then you have to first find the point D, coordinates of the point D, which is the midpoint. So point D, coordinates of D is 3 plus 7 by 2. I am using midpoint formula. Okay, and 2 plus 5 by 2 again. Okay, so that is 5 and 7 by 2. Okay, so D's coordinates are 5, 7 by 2. I have reached only halfway. I still have to find this. Now if you can see AD as a line which is here intersected at G by let me take the coordinates of G as xy. Okay, by which is intersected at G in the ratio 2:1. Then what? How do I find G? Back to section formula. Okay, now back to section formula where we are going to get the value of G when a line has been cut in the ratio 2:1. So if I use that, here it is, now the best way to do this is, you know what, the best way to do it is to draw it separately so that you don't get any mistakes. So what I will do here is I will draw that, and A will be 1 comma 4, and here will be G, which will be x comma y, and here will be D, which is going to be 5 comma 7 by 2. Okay, now it's very easy. This side is 2, this side is 1. Let me find x and y. Okay, so I will be finding x and y now. So here this is x is equal to 2, 10 plus 1, yes, by 3, which is 11 by 3. Y is equal to, this is 2 into 7 by 2, which is 7 plus, this is 4 by 3, which is again 11 by 3. So G is 11 by 3 comma 11 by 3. We got the first part of the answer, that is the coordinates are 11 by 3 and of G are, the centroid are 11 by 3 and 11 by 3. Come to the second part of the question. When this line, we have to find the equation of this line. Now in order to find the equation of the line, what are the things we need? We just need any point through which it is passing. Here it is passing through G, okay, and the slope of the line, and then we can get C. So slope of the line. So let's find first slope of AB, because this line will have equal slope as AB. So slope of AB, slope of AB. Why it will have equal slope as AB? Because we know that equations, parallel lines have equal slopes. So 4 minus 2, okay, that is a 2, and 1 minus 3, that is a minus 2. So slope is minus 1 for AB. So for AB, slope is minus 1. So for this line which is parallel to it, I can name it as MN. Okay, so for this line, slope of MN is also equal to minus 1, and MN passes through G also. So let me now substitute all that and find C. So y is equal to mx plus c. Y is how much? Y is 11 by 3. N is minus 1 into 11 by 3 and c. So c comes to 11 by 3 plus 11 by 3, which is equal to 22 by 3. Okay, so I got my C, I got my M. Now all I have to do is put them together and find the equation of the line. Y is equal to minus 1, okay, that is slope, okay, plus 22 by 3. That makes it 3y plus 3x, because minus 3x comes this side, plus 3x is 22 by 3. So that is my final answer. That is the equation of the line which is parallel to AB. Okay, so this is the sum. Okay, so what are we keeping in mind all the time in this chapter? We are only keeping in mind, so what are we keeping in mind all the time in this chapter? We are only keeping in mind that in order to find a line, we need one point which passes through the line, and we need the value of M. With the help of M and the value of that point, y, x and M is substituted and we get C, and then we substitute the C and the M back in the equation. Okay, and we also have to remember two lines when they are perpendicular, the product of their slopes is minus 1, and two lines when they are parallel, then the two lines are equal. Okay, so that is it from exercise 14C. The next exercise is going to take the same sums, similar questions only, but to a next level. Okay, if you have liked the video, if you have liked my explanation, please like, share and subscribe, because very soon I am going to upload specimen sample papers. Okay, so I am going to upload specimen papers of ICSE boards for 2025. Okay, so please keep watching, and please leave a comment behind if you like the videos. That's it for today. Thanks for watching the video. Bye then.